Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to another watch party. It is the Nets taking on the Grizzlies. Welcome. Righto. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the starting lineup. Ben Simmons is playing. There was a little bit of speculation surrounding whether or not he would actually play. He is not a starter. He's coming off the bench. So a lineup change makes things very, very interesting because, well, to be quite frank, things have not worked with Ben Simmons and Clax in the starting lineup as of recently. So we're trying something a little bit different, going a little bit smaller in the backcourt. But there is a little bit more spacing out there on the court, which is probably a positive for this team, and I think it's something that we need desperately. So yeah, Claxton, Mikal, Finney-Smith, Schroeder, and Cam Thomas. And then for the opposition, the Memphis Grizzlies, they are absolutely depleted. And they have Luke Kennard, Ziaire Williams, Vincent Williams, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Santi Aldama. The rookie, the youngest player in the league, I believe he is. GG Jackson is coming off the bench. Let's get Luke Kennard's face off of there, preferably. Doesn't look like it's going to let me. Like how they got a video graphic. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so that is the starting fives for both teams. The other day, we obviously lost. We lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves the other night. Played a pretty good game. In terms of the defensive work, just offensively, don't have any ruthlessness, don't have spacing, getting cooked, essentially. So with Ben coming off the bench, it's going to be interesting to see if that means that Dayron's not going to play, or if that means Dayron is, or that means Ben's going to play small ball 5. I'm not too sure. Is that going to mean Jalen Wilson plays a few extra minutes? Because obviously we've now got a little bit more balance with the point guard rotation. You've got DSJ, Lonnie on the bench, and then you've got two smaller guards to start. So they're staggered quite well, and Ben can play the 5. We have not seen any point center minutes, any point center minutes in the Kevin Ollie tenure. And look, I mean, people want this guy, Kevin Ollie, to turn things around in the blink of an eye. This team is in an all-time slump. Not all-time, but they're in a slump. And look, it's not going to immediately just click like that. Different coach. There is such a thing as a new manager bounce or new coach bounce. But, you know, in this case, we're that far bottom of the barrel that you've got to really get this team out of the depths. And that is a long way back up. So, the more that we look, I saw the game last game. A lot of people just were depressed by it. I did see it as a performance in the right direction. And we've had a few of those which have been false dawns. They've actually been fake. Like we've seen a performance like what we did against Minnesota, and then it's just, you know, completely turned to shit the next game, and it was all false. But I think the way we played defensively, we need to see that again today. I mean, we're playing Memphis, who, granted, they're not gifted, like, or they're not, I'm not saying they're not gifted, but their talent is severely lacking in comparison to what it could be if they had their full team fit. So this is a very good opportunity for a Nets team to win. I mean, this team wants to win. And if you can't beat a team that is actively not good, and probably shouldn't be winning at like that many games at all. If you can't win today, well, then I don't really know what to say. I think you may have to start a riot at that point. But you know, this is an opportunity you just have to take, really. I'm not really sure what we've got in store, what type of performance. But that being said, as I say, we held Minnesota under 25 points, I think, in each quarter. Or we held them under 30 in each quarter until the last, where they scored, I think, 31 points or something like that. And we just completely fell flat, of course. But, you know, I did see it as a good sign because we were getting stops. And that wasn't that easy to do. Anthony Edwards is a good player, of course, and Karl Anthony Towns has been on a heater for quite some time. So, and they have some nice complementary pieces around those guys. So I think we did a pretty good job defensively, and a lot of steals in there, a lot of, you know, well, yeah, a lot of stops, but not enough transition plays. We didn't look very proactive bringing the ball up, and Ben Simmons, who is supposed to play with pace, was not playing with pace, and that is problematic because you know how he is in the half court. He's pretty problematic to your offense. So Ben playing off the bench, it's going to be interesting to see that. I really don't know who Memphis have on their bench, but I would imagine that they're really clutching at loose straws, to be honest, to put together a team because, yeah, they are very injury hit. They're missing Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Scottie Pippen Jr., who obviously isn't that good. He's not too bad, actually. I'm trying to see who they last played. John Concha is out. Just a lot of randoms. A lot of randoms are injured for them. That's not to say that the bunch of randoms that they've got playing for them today will not beat us. They could. In which case, it would be an absolute travesty for this team. The last game they played was against the Clippers, and they held them to 101 points. So they're a pretty gritty team. They actually forced 20 turnovers. Kawhi, Paul George, and James Harden combined for 15 of those. So that's where they remain in the game. Jake LaRavia, Lamar Stevens, Derrick Rose off the bench, all are players for them. So who knows, honestly. But, you know, this team is capable, the Grizzlies, for sure. The Grizzlies did beat the Rockets and then the Bucks, both away games and back-to-back, but then they lost to the Clippers. Yeah, so they're not shit. They're not shit. They've got a good bunch of players that, irrespective of system, the players they've got are the players we need. Really. We need a bunch of players who are going to absolutely die out there. And it's safe to say that we haven't really had that ruthlessness that we've required all season. So who knows, honestly, what we're going to get. Interesting stat line for Noah Clowney in the G League. He had a ton of stats: steals, blocks, points, rebounds, dimes. Yet he's not going to get game time because we have too many good players, or players that are supposed to be good but just the shit. So look, I mean, if we lose today, you might as well just play Clowney starting center for the rest of the year, even though that's his incorrect position. That's where the Nets will play him. The wrong position. Okay. So Memphis starting lineups, as we've mentioned, is Ziaire Williams, Vincent Williams, Jaren Jackson Jr., Luke Kennard, and we got so Kennard, Williams, Jackson, Aldama. There you go. And then for the Nets, no Ben Simmons in the starting lineup. He is playing. Was questionable with knee soreness going in. Yeah. I think the real well, that is a good lineup change, I think, objectively. You needed to make an adjustment. And if your offense is playing like shit, you need someone that can sort of space it a little bit better. Marcus Smart is also out injured as well. Vibes are good in Memphis, all things considered, because they don't have any expectations going into this, well, for the rest of the season, to be honest. They are pretty chill They know that they're not going to be contending this season, and they know they're not going to be, well, that good. They may not even make the playoffs. So, you know, they've really got nothing to lose. That's why these players play like they've got nothing to lose, because they don't have anything to lose. Going to get a decent draft pick. And next year we'll hit the ground running, potentially with that decent draft pick being right in the mix. The Nets, I mean, started well the other day, but then they made a substitution which just killed our momentum, and that probably swung the game the complete other way. It was playing DSJ with, who was it? I actually don't know. I think it was a 3-guard lineup where we had Dennis Smith playing, and it just killed the spacing. We were getting some good driving kicks, but, you know, those driving kicks were going to the corner where DSJ was. Of course, oppositions are going to leave those guys open. If you have a Jalen Wilson there who's shooting at upwards of 45% from 3 this season, then it's going to be, it could result in something a little bit different. You're going to get those catch and shoot looks, and it's going to space. And I think they love DSJ for the energy he brings, but he's very matchup specific. Unless you really need a point of attack defender, which is proving a little bit too hard to handle, that's probably when you bring him in. Outside of that, you know, yeah, you really can't play him. He's sort of unplayable. We are going to be back tomorrow as well for Nets versus the Magic. So make sure to tune in for that one. We've got the Magic, we've got the Hawks twice more this week. So make sure to tune in for those or that coverage as well. So Nets win the tip-off, and it is Schroeder who is going to hand it off to Cam Thomas, and now Claxton, and bounce pass to Bridges, picked up by Ziaire Williams, so I think that's going to be the clear matchup. Finney Smith, body bump, corner 3, not attempted by Cam Thomas. Good defense. Thomas, good hesitation. That has got to be a fucking goaltend. How on earth was that not deemed a goaltend? I thought that shit was on the way down, but apparently not, and Memphis will get into their first set of the game. It's Jackson to Waldama on the outside, picked up by Schroeder, the switch. And now Kennard. Bridges is guarding Jackson. Good defense by the Nets. Get a steal, get in the passing lane. Finney Smith down the middle. Dump off. Claxton the dunk. And that's a good start for the Nets. Defense leading to offense. Early offense as well. Something we don't usually see a lot of at all. So the Nets up 2-0. Early stages, first quarter. That's an easy lob. And it's not completed by Ziaire Williams. And Cam Thomas is able to telegraph the fall of the ball, and he will bring it up himself as well. So Schroeder on the outside now. The screen set by Claxton. Schroeder uses the screen, shoots the jumper. It's off. I don't know why he's shooting mid-ranges like that. Ziaire Williams fakes the handoff, and an easy layup. Mikal was guarding as if Ziaire Williams was going to go baseline instead. Or away from the basket instead. He just allowed a wide open lane to the rim. Schroeder the drive, puts the head down, gives it to Claxton, who will give it back out to Schroeder, and now Finney Smith. Bit of hesitation, gets into the paint to the corner for Cam Thomas, who's ready to fire, and he hits. And the Nets have their first 3-pointer on the board, courtesy of Cam Thomas, and the Nets up 5-2. Jackson, handoff, Williams open 3. That is way too open, but a board for Schroeder, and the Nets will look to get into another set. And Schroeder will back down Williams on the outside, give it to Claxton, who is very, very open. Cam Thomas will get into the paint. Mikal cut along the baseline. Fade away 2. Love to see it. Loving that dynamic play. It's 7-2 Nets. And Mikal scores his first make of the game. Basket of the game. So, Nets not doing too bad. And Claxton does well there. I would have thought there was a foul involved in that, because it looks like Jackson really backed into Clax, who is still on the ground. He's very, very slow to get up every single time he falls to the floor. Already wants a bit of a break, and he's only played 2.5 minutes. So it's going to be Memphis on the side, but a good stoppage there by the Nets to force Memphis into having to trigger it in from the side. It's now Jackson who will back down Claxton. Knocked away, got it back, and is blocked by Claxton. And the Nets can break out in transition. It's Bridges who will drive, and the pass was slightly knocked away. Claxton's open under the hoop, and he scores for 2 more, and we've got a timeout. It's 9-2, and the Nets doing a great job of exploiting that extra man. Jackson was blocked on one end. Claxton identified this, that he still had a fair bit of time to recover because he was sort of out of it. And Claxton just sat under the basket. It was a good feed by Finney Smith, and the Nets are off to a good 9-2 start to open this one. And this is the exact way we started against Minnesota. It was a little bit more prolonged. Let's hope that it doesn't end here for the Nets. So right now the Nets have gotten a few points out of their starters at the moment, which is a good plus. And it's Claxton who's already got 4, a steal and a block. So he's done a little bit of everything early on. Cam Thomas has also got the 3 points to his name with an assist and a rebound. So pretty good start for the Nets. They're shooting 4 of 7 from the field. They've already got a steal and a block, of course, both by Claxton, and Memphis have shot 1 of 4. So they've already taken 3 less shots. They've turned the ball over once and found a little bit of difficulty in getting some shot quality, which is always going to be tough when your team is visibly depleted like that. So Nets off to a ripping start. Okay. If you are enjoying thus far, by the way, make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back here tomorrow to do Nets Orlando, which, by the way, is a team that for some reason, irrespective of the form we have been in, because obviously there's been a lot of fluctuation, Orlando have never been a problem. Both times we've played them, both times we've destroyed them. I don't really know the logistics behind that, but yeah, so the Nets probably go into that game with a little bit of confidence, knowing the historical advantage this season. And look, a win today would do great things because you go into the week with the belief, or you go through the week with the belief, if you can start the week off the right way, that you can get the W, you know? In every one of those games. They're very winnable. Orlando, Atlanta twice. We play Memphis again at the start of next week. So they're all really, really good sort of opportunities for the Nets to really capitalize. And am I stupid for thinking this team could go on a 5-game win streak? Well, the opportunity does present itself. These are teams that I think very much a 50-50. A lot of those games. Orlando is a 50-50. Atlanta's a 50-50, and we play them twice. And then Memphis again. You don't really know what you're going to get from these Memphis players. It's really hit or miss with them. Good start, though, for the Nets. We're playing a little bit of 2-3 zone, which is an interesting decision. It's just allowed a Kennard 3. I don't know what the fuck was the point of that. The man-on-man defense is fine. Why would you zone up? It's not... The only time you use zone is if you're having trouble covering certain players in the offense. We've held them to 2 points in 3 minutes. What's the point of that? Schroeder's going to try to take Kennard off the dribble. Mikal, wrap around to Thomas. Good off-ball movement by Finney Smith. Open 3. It's short. The board by Kennard. So 9-5. Aldama. Hand off to Kennard. Back to Aldama. Pump fake. Drive. Kick. Williams. Checked by Bridges. The pass was off. The steal. Well done by Schroeder to protect it because he did have it knocked away. Bridges did cut to the basket, but we ignored that. And now Cam Thomas will take it inside. He had a layup. Instead, he's picked up the dribble about 5 to 10 feet away from the basket. Schroeder, the drive on Aldama. He's too small and he chucks up an absolute brick, but somehow it's fortuitously landed with Finney Smith uncontested, unattended under the basket, and the Nets get an easy 2-pointer. A huge let-off on that possession. Kennard, 3. It's short. It's a good recovery by Cam Thomas because I thought he had fucked up the assignment there. Schroeder to Bridges, who shoots the 3, saw the space. It's off, hits back iron, rebound by Ziaire Williams. Something to note for the Nets. They only had 2 threes converted by their starters the other day. So fair to say the output needs to well and truly improve. Good drive there by Williams. He is off on the layup. Good defense, Bridges. And now Schroeder will lob it up to Claxton, and he could not complete it. And I don't really know why we did that, but you like the early offense. The 3 by Williams is short. The board by Claxton, and it was just knocked away by Aldama. So, Jesus Christ, this is going to be another low-scoring fixture, isn't it? And, of course, DSJ is the first off the bench, which I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of. So Cam Thomas off. We need to see a lot of spacing here if DSJ is going to play. So Cam Johnson is one of those players to enter the game. DSJ also wins. So Schroeder, what the fuck is the spacing with this lineup? Oh my God. Johnson isn't even on the court yet. Schroeder's just lost the ball and it's going the other way. I just don't understand that substitution. I just don't understand it. It's awful spacing. Johnson's going to check in, I assume, for Finney Smith. So I just don't understand this lineup. Johnson is a 4. Dennis, or both Dennises playing. You don't even have Walker on the court. You have to take Schroeder off if you want DSJ on the court, at least. Good catch and shoot 3 by Jackson. What is Bridges doing? It is fumbled out of play by Williams. Enough disruption there under the basket to ensure the Nets got the ball. But Mikal's got to be far more alert because he's just allowed Williams an easy run and jump to get that offensive rebound. So we have reached the halfway point of the first quarter. The Nets are only up 6, yet they have only shipped off 2 field goals to the opposition. Bridges, nice catch and shoot 3. His first make of the afternoon from the outside. I say afternoon because it's afternoon here. 14-5. The Grizzlies are in a bit of a rut. I think that would be understating it, to be honest. Jackson on the outside. He's got Johnson on him. He's going to drive. He is very tall and lanky. Chucked one up and wanted a foul. He's not going to get that whistle because he's a rook. And referees really don't call those. Not respected enough yet. Johnson to the corner for Schroeder. Pass to Claxton, knocked away, and I don't know how that's not a foul. Had to be a foul. Jackson wrapped up Claxton there, and it's going to be Nets ball. The Grizzlies were off to the races. They would have had an easy look under the basket with the numbers there in their favor, so that's going to do two things. It's going to give us the basketball, and it's going to allow us to make the substitution of Claxton out, Dayron in. So still no Ben Simmons in this one yet. So we have the twins on the court with Dayron Sharp, Dennis Smith Jr., and Dennis Schroeder. Bridges, another pull-up 3. It's off. Dayron fights on the glass, but isn't able to secure more numbers under the basket for Memphis. Jackson, handoff to Rose. Back out to Jackson. Faked the pass. And a foul by Williams, who wasn't able to get the layup off the glass. Didn't get enough lift, but it will be free throws. So, man, Memphis have found it real tough to actually get, well, any points for that matter. So, look, the Nets, I'm still not a fan of this lineup. No Walker and no Ben Simmons. I don't want DSJ playing. No Walker, no Wilson, no Watford. The disrespect, the slander for players with a surname starting with the letter W is pretty clear. amongst the, or within the Nets organization, apparently. Williams missed one, made the second. The Nets are up 8. They lead 14-6. It's pretty clear the offense has not been a focal point of either team today. Bridges gets into the mid-range, trying to make shit happen. He gives it back out to Schroeder, who's got Rose on him. Schroeder out to Bridges. Good defense. Dennis Smith Jr. needs to drive it. He gets the layup up. Doesn't get the bounce. Dayron does well on the glass, but it is secured by Jake LaRavia. And Memphis will... Well, they'll try to get into this quite quickly, I would imagine. Rose, well held up by the Nets. Well defended on the baseline. Rose finds another way through, or tries to. Has to give it out to Jackson, who will drive the layup. Good verticality by Dayron. And another foul not called. Bridges in transition, the spin. Dayron, the dump-off pass is good by Mikal. And the Nets lead by 10. 16-6. It is not pretty, ladies and gentlemen, but the Nets are finding ways at the moment. Got a good buffer. Rose just lost his footing. Gives it back out to LaRavia. Now Williams to Jackson to Rose in the corner. He's got Bridges on him. Drive. Good closeout. Jackson's open for 3. And he finally gets a shot to go for Memphis. I don't know, the last time they made a field goal. And funnily enough, his toe was on the line, so it's a 2-pointer. They still don't have a 3-pointer. Well, they may have one, actually. Schroeder on the outside. Now to Dennis. Back to Dennis Schroeder. So the Dennises combine. Johnson is ready to shoot, and he hits the 3 over the top of the defender. Memphis have that point added back on the Jackson attempt 1 possession prior. Ben and Cam Thomas getting ready to check in. So I don't know what the sub is here. LaRavia corner 3. Yes. And Memphis have doubled their point tally in about 30 seconds. Memphis have only scored 12 points, but they have gotten 3 threes in this game. And they're actually shooting that particularly well. Schroeder, an easy elbow J, and a timeout called there by Taylor Jenkins. The Nets lead by 9. And this is very similar to what the scoreline was at the back end of the first quarter against Minnesota. I think it was around the 3-minute mark. The Nets were up 22-12 as opposed to now 21-12. But then there was some substitutions that were made that just completely killed our momentum. Now, let's hope that Ben Simmons entering the game isn't detrimental to what we've been doing so far. But positive signs at the moment, Memphis are really sort of struggling to get any form of offense going. Jackson's only taken the 2 shots. They've shot 4-13. Interestingly enough, the 3-pointers are going down for Memphis, but the Nets are doing well on the interior to block them off. And so for the Nets, no real standout scorer, but Mikal does have 5. Finney Smith actually has 4 boards and 3 dimes to go with 2 points. So that's a bit of a pleasant surprise. And Dennis Schroeder getting his start, the first one since that 50-point drubbing at the hands of Boston. He's got 2 points and 2 dimes as well. So interesting staggering of minutes. Cam Thomas has only played the 5 minutes to this point. The Nets are shooting the ball pretty well. Haven't been to the free throw line though, so that's probably got to be a focus for us. But the 3 threes are a very good sign, because the other day, if you didn't remember, the Nets shot about 16% from 3 and they took 36 of them. They only made 6 the whole game, and they only had 2 threes from their starters from about 20 attempts. Today, we've already seen 2 threes from our starters in, well, obviously, in the first quarter. The first quarter isn't even done yet, so we could actually bypass that in 1 quarter. And, well, that's the formula. That is the recipe you need to win games of basketball. It's pretty simple. You're not going to win too many games. You're not going to win too many games if you're scoring 6 threes and it's leading to 86 points. You can't hold too many teams to 86 points or less. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus the Magic tomorrow. We are 34% from 3 above the break, and we're 42% from 3 in the corners, and obviously we've taken 3 threes from the corner tonight and made 2. We actually lead the NBA for corner 3-point percentage. So we need to get more of those looks, but oppositions have done a great job of getting us away from those corners and forcing us to shoot more threes above the break, and it's been a pretty effective strategy because we've really struggled from the outside in this terrible run since December. Subs have been made. We are playing small ball 5. Ben, Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas, Johnson, and Walker. I'm loving this lineup for offense. Interesting to see if it'll hold up defensively. Jackson lost the ball. Ben did well to hold his own. Thomas, Walker, transition 3. Yes! That has to be Nets basketball. Has to be. Rose, early offense, good acceleration. Walker's late on the rotation across, and that is good buckets by D Rose. Winding back the clock. Johnson in the corner. The drive. Ben to the other corner or wing. Thomas, that is badly off. And Ben's just got to drive it, man. If a shit Memphis team is not going to... Oh my goodness. GG Jackson with the cross and the slam. If you're going to be deterred by a shit Memphis team and not take it in, I don't know what to say to you. Johnson, Ben, good roll, easy dunk. And that's textbook pick and roll basketball right there. Ben on the board, 2 points for him. Open 3 for GG Jackson. That is too wide open, but it is to the left and a rebound by Finney-Smith. Ben to Johnson. CJ to Finney-Smith, the 1-2. Johnson to Cam Thomas. Has a lot of space. Watanabe is in the game as well. The step back mid-range for Cam Thomas. It rattles out. The board secured by Memphis. And now it's Laravia back out to Jackson, who will drive again. Foul. And it's going to be 2 free throws coming up for GG Jackson here. So he's pretty being pretty assertive in this first quarter, GG Jackson, and I think that indicates a player who has been given the green light, and obviously they're prioritizing development over trying to win, because obviously the team isn't that well positioned right now to win games of basketball. So Jackson at the line makes the first. Lot of talent, that bloke. And it looks like Kevin Ollie's going to call a timeout. He hasn't had to call one all quarter, which is a nice luxury. We lead by 9. And the Nets, well, box score would suggest a very good start. Only guy to not score is DSJ. But this is a very good lineup by Kevin Ollie. Ben is a 5. Finney-Smith is a 4, so you got that spacing. That's where we won a lot of our games when we didn't have Claxton playing. We had Ben at the 5 and we had Finney-Smith at the 4. It made things very, very interesting in terms of how oppositions dealt with Ben at the 5, because you didn't really know whether to have to go close to him. You couldn't really sag off and play drop because, if you just sagged off, Ben could set a screen for the on-ball defender or on the on-ball defender, and Cam Thomas would just cook and have wide open mid-ranges. So it's an interesting sort of prospect. But a good start for the Nets. 10 bench points, and every starter's on the board as well. So that's what you want to see, especially for a team who's been slumping for, well, a fair bit this season. So 26-17, another free throw awaits for GG Jackson. We've got 60 seconds left in the opening quarter. And, Jackson at the free throw line now for one more. No subs made here. No shake-up. Jackson makes both. And the Grizzlies trail by 8. So they've stabilized after a very, very slow start on the offensive side. So Cam Thomas, bounce pass to Ben in the post. Good cuts off the ball. Johnson is freed up on the outside. Another cut by Finney-Smith. And the layup's good. That off-ball movement, I have never seen anything like it this season. How many different cuts were going on in that possession? You had a wraparound by Johnson on the outside. You had Finney-Smith cutting. You had Walker cutting down the middle. Hold the opposition defense accountable. And that's exactly what we did on that possession. Haven't seen that nearly enough. Laravia attacks Thomas, gets the shot up and doesn't get it to go. Not enough lift. Walker in transition. So 2 for 1 executed in terms of the time management, but not the scoring element for Memphis. And the Nets will hold for 1. And there is a 7-second difference between shot and game. So enough time for Memphis to send it the other way. Thomas goes downhill on the baseline. He misses. Ben bats it back. And it's into the backcourt. So 6 to shoot. We get it ahead. Walker is fouled by Jackson. So they had a foul to give. And it'll give us 4.4 to shoot. So Nets up 10. Opportunity to extend the lead further going into the second quarter. And Mikal Bridges returns for offensive purposes. Ben goes to the bench. I honestly would have put him on inbounding duties, to be honest. So let's see what we've got. A lob. Cam Johnson, finger roll. We used 0.7 of the clock. Rose will bring it up. Behind the back. Lost the ball. Got it back. Then lost the ball again. And that's quarter time. And the Nets top off a good quarter. That is an excellent inbounds play. I mean, Memphis, fair bit of miscommunication there. Good screen by Finney-Smith to block off Cam Johnson's man. And then from there, just needed a simple lob pass from the inbounds to find Cam J. So the Nets are doing well at getting that right balance. They've had a great amount of interior looks and a fair bit of off-ball movement going on. It's really that simple. I've been calling for this for years. Just try something different. Do some cuts. Do some off-ball screens in a different sort of nature to what we've been doing all season. There's been a lot of off-ball movement, which, yeah, as I said, haven't seen a lot of that this season. A fair bit of stagnant play, and it really helps when you're getting stops on the other end, which really keeps the Memphis defense on their toes. The Nets have started well, though. Very, very well. Cam Thomas has got 3 dimes. I think he was the inbounder for that Cam Johnson alley-oop layup. It's been really good. Really, really good. I mean, it's only Memphis, but you've got to take the wins where you see them. And that first quarter was a definite win. We shot the ball very well. Well, we did turn it over a bit. No free throws, but everyone scoring bar 1 is a plus, and no one scoring more than 5 is a plus. Well, especially when you score 30 points. That's great distribution. And for Memphis, well, they've no one who scored more than 4 points, and the bloke who has scored 4 points is not shooting very efficiently at all. Overall, they're sort of kept in this game because of the 3 threes made and the free throws, but on the interior, they've struggled. They're actually looking like us when, Nets players go into the paint and chuck up some terrible layups. That's what it looks like. Today, we've got a lot more polish. And they probably saw this game on the schedule and were like, well, if we don't win this, we're going to look like absolute clowns. Like, put on the red nose and the clown shoes and the rainbow-colored afro. Because, mate, we would have looked like right old clowns if I mean, we haven't won the game yet, but we've gotten off to a very good start that puts you in the best position to win, of course. So 30-18, second quarter about to get underway. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus Orlando tomorrow in 24 hours. So make sure to tune in for that. Memphis will kick off proceedings in the second quarter, down 12. The Nets of Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, Schroeder, Finney-Smith, Simmons. Oh, that's too easy, Cam. Far too easy by Cam Thomas. Just got pushed under the trajectory of the ball. And it's, caused a few problems there. Easy layup under the basket. Cam Thomas finds himself in a switch. And there's a foul on the drive. It's Aldama who will commit it. And the Nets were finding a little bit of difficulty getting it to a ball handler because Ben Simmons picked up his dribble and was looking for a handoff. Sub made. Schroeder was not on the court. I thought he was. Did I miss something? Finney Smith is off. Claxton is in. So Schroeder's into the game. So we are playing really small. I don't know why. Cam Johnson for the 15 millionth time. He is not a 4. Claxton the layup. The finger roll is good. Got the soft touch off. And the Nets up 12. Great play. Rose, drive, dump off, layup, good. Great drive. Great drive, great feed. Simple shit is better. Schroeder just lost the ball, got it back. Claxton, no foul involved. Schroeder has a lot of space, and he knocks down the 3, and the Nets up 13. To the corner, nearly stolen. Aldama's open top of the key for 3, and that's too easy as well. And I would not be surprised if we give away another easy look. Kevin Ollie's going to call a timeout, I think. Cam Thomas is fouled by Vince Williams, and 10:36 to play in the second quarter. Nets up 10, and fair to say the offense has looked good. Pretty damn good. 10:36 to play in the second, and it'll be Cam Thomas triggering into Claxton. Walker. Screen used. Switch. Got Stevens on him. The cross. The drive. The scoop is blocked by Stevens. And 7 to shoot. Nets will have it on the baseline. Good block. Thought Walker was going to blow right by, but proven wrong on that occasion. Inbounded to Claxton. We need to get it to someone here. It's Cam Thomas, who I thought was fouled. He's going to shoot a step back 2. Tough shot. With the shot clock winding down, it was no issue for CT. Not phased. And now Williams will give it out to Aldama, who will hand it off to Williams, who fakes the 3. Pass to Rose. Jab step. Jump shot. Make. So good response there by D Rose. Same fashion as the Thomas shot. What the fuck was that by Lonnie Walker? He's absolutely fluffed it. Schroeder wanted a backcourt violation because the ball, I did think, contacted the half-court line. Rose is fouled, or there may be a 3-second call. Nope, foul. So 37-27, and Memphis will have a crack here again. 9:40 to play. Rose gets it off the inbounds. DSJ is now in for Lonnie Walker. Williams, drive, lost the ball. Watanabe in the mid-range. That's off. Nets legend, by the way. Did a whole video on him. Such a great player when he was on our team. Cohesion was awesome with KD and the like. Schroeder on the outside. To the corner for DSJ. This is the problem. You can't have him sitting in the corner. He does nothing there. Schroeder, 3 is good from way downtown, way behind the line. That's his second 3-pointer made. He's shooting very, very efficiently today. And I would almost say that he has been our top scorer. Going downhill, that's a good charge by Cam Johnson. Outside the protected zone, the restricted area, and he's able to win possession back for the Nets. Johnson was well planted. Williams just barged into him, and it will be Nets basketball up 13. So positive signs here. DSJ will inbound it to other Dennis. So we're trialing some lineups here. But I just don't like Dennis Smith on the court because he's just not a reliable shooter, is he? Schroeder the drive, blew the layup. Cam Thomas got the miss and was able to score for 2 more. So Cam Thomas doing a bit of everything. Facilitating, getting the boards. He did that more so last game. when there were a lot of boards on offer. Kennard is forced into a pass. Williams gets by Thomas, but it's thrown out of play, looking for Stevens, who were dipped to the corner. Another turnover. And the Nets can just keep on buffing up this lead. They lead by 15. Schroeder. Screens. Claxton on the perimeter. Schroeder is just going to rally the troops. Going to attack. Pass to Johnson, who will drive. Bounce pass. Good wraparound. Dennis is open in the corner, but that's the problem you have with him being on the court. He can't shoot it. Schroeder. Johnson, second try. No. Rebound not secured by DSJ, and the Memphis Grizzlies can cut into this deficit with a make. Stevens had it knocked away by Johnson. Picks up his dribble. Aldama fakes on the three. The drive down the middle. I thought that was an extra step there taken, but he did well. Slowed the game down there and was able to score. Good bit of patience. Thomas. Claxton. Back to CT. Roll to the rim by Claxton was not used. Thomas. Good drive. Floater. Too long. Good look, though. Memphis in transition. It's Williams out to Aldama. Forced into a pass. It's Williams the drive. Lost the ball. Secured somehow by Lamar Stevens. And that is an open three. Too easy. That's just lucky. And Kevin Ollie will call a timeout. That's a bit stiff. Nearly got a steal. It just happened to ricochet back into the lap of a Memphis player who had no one contesting him within 5 to 10 feet. So, Nets up 10. Probably should update the score here. What we saw quarter by quarter. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Orlando tomorrow. Should be good fun. For sure. Let's have a look at what people have been saying in the chat. What do you think about the Clippers rebrand? Pretty good. I actually like it. Very, look, I don't think they are the team most in need of a rebrand, but it looks pretty good. Every team is an offensive system. Do you know what the Nets offensive system has been this year? Yeah, I know what it is. Shit. It's been shit. That's what it is. No two ways about it. Okay. So, Nets up 10. And I'm not liking the DSJ minutes. Apart from that, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Nets are shooting very, very well. Problem is no free throws. Good thing, no turnovers. Dennis Schroeder's been very efficient. He actually is the high man for the Nets with 8. Mikal Bridges has only played 9 minutes, which is positive. Cam Johnson, plenty of run off the bench. He's got, he's played 11 minutes, a clear number one. And it's pretty obvious that Kevin Ollie is just moving the magnets a little bit more. Sending Ben to the bench. I don't know if that's more minutes restriction or load management sort of, but I'm liking that he's just tried something a little bit different today. We have seen the backup 5 minutes by Ben Simmons, albeit for 3 minutes. Clax has got 6. Cam Thomas has got 7. And he's got the 3 dimes as well, which is a positive. Getting some decent looks in. But, just got to make sure we keep the foot on the pedal, because these games are trap games. Doesn't matter what sort of lead you have, no lead ever feels safe with this Nets team, irrespective of who they play. Mikal will return to action. Claxton also comes back into the game, having already scored 6 points in the game. Some good finds under the basket. So 42-32, the Nets just gave away a 3 prior to that timeout, and it was pretty wide open. So rightfully, the timeout was called, regroup, and it looks like Memphis had their toe on the line for one of their 3-pointers, because a point has been chalked off. Schroeder to Bridges. The screen by Claxton. The skip pass to Schroeder, who tries his luck again. He's feeling it from the outside. He has made all 3 3-pointers in the game. And now it's Kennard on the perimeter, who will drive. Pass to the corner for Ziaire Williams right in front of the bench. The 3 is short. The board by Claxton. Schroeder will look to push the pace a little bit here. And he's going to drive. Lost the ball, and we've got a foul, and it's Schroeder who will get free throws. He was absolutely flung to the floor, and he probably put a little bit of mayo on it because, well, I think that's actually a clear foul, or clear steal. Unless they're calling it on Lamar Stevens, because Luke Kennard definitely jarred it loose legally. So 6:33 to play in the second quarter. The Nets up 14, and it's Schroeder who will shoot a couple of free throws at the line. So free throw for Dennis is off. My goodness. Why can no one make a free throw in a Nets uniform? Jaren Jackson's back into the game. Subs have been made for Memphis here. Nearly all their starters have checked back in. So these are the first free throws at the line. For the Nets, it's taken a good 17 and a half minutes to actually get there. Schroeder at the line missed the first, made the second. Nets up 15. So 6:30 to play in the second quarter. It is imperative we close out this half on a positive note. Flung to the corner for Ziaire Williams, who initially fumbled it. It's good. Well, I don't know what the foul is for. Finney Smith did a great job fighting under the basket to ensure that Jackson wasn't getting his way. He really fought for that position. Did give away a foul, but it's allowed us to reset and get Claxton back onto Jackson again. Ball's inbounded to Luke Kennard. The switch by the Nets means Finney Smith is picking him up, and they now give it to GG Jackson. 4 to shoot. Got to make something. To the corner for Jackson. Oh, well done. Well done by the Nets. Shot clock violation. And there were a couple of opportunities for Memphis to get the shot up, but the Nets did well on the recovery. Jackson had an open look in the corner, but Finney Smith was able to get there in time, even though he was a little bit affected by an off-ball screen. And Memphis used up a little bit of extra clock, and the clock expired. Schroeder is feeling it. He puts up a mid-range, and that is off the board for Memphis. I don't really think Schroeder shots are the way to go here. Jackson just lost the ball, and it's gone off Jackson. It's going the other way. So 5:47 to play in this second quarter, and the Nets still lead by 15, and we've done well against the players that potentially could cook. Aldama, GG Jackson, Jaren Jackson, all those guys really haven't been able to get going. Schroeder gonna hand it across to Bridges on the other wing. Gets into the paint. Good change of pace. Schroeder sets the feet, but no space to shoot. Gets into the paint. Rolls it back out. He's going to drive again. Pass to the corner was on, but it was actually knocked away, and it will be Nets ball, but we have 1.7 to get a shot up, and you imagine it's got to be one of these cuts again. We need to see a cut, or just inbound it to Claxton and let him shoot. And he does, and that is an excellent looking floater with the left hand as the shot clock expires off the inbounds. Jackson out to Kennard, the former Detroit player, takes a dribble and then gives it back to Jackson, who muscles his way to the basket. Didn't make it. It hit back iron. The Nets get the long board. Walker, the pull-up 3. Yes! The Nets up 20. And that's a nice little 9-0 burst by the Nets as well. And Schroeder, that is excellent leadership. Just telling Claxton, do not think about it. Put that shot up. Back your ability in. Don't take a dribble. Just immediately shoot it. And Claxton probably practices those for days in the gym. So Nets up 20. Yes, you heard it here first. We're up 20. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? The Nets are up 20. Let that shit sink in. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus not Memphis. We're playing them right now. Nets Magic tomorrow. 24 hours from now, we will be doing that game. So make sure to tune in for that. And also, there is a donate button. So if you're feeling generous, a little bit more so, you are more than welcome. No obligation, of course, but there is that option as well if you want to support the channel in another way as well. Nets are doing well. Good little response. The 9-0 burst means we lead this quarter by 8. You can see Schroeder is the high man with 12. Shooting the ball well from the outside. All the starters have just been absolutely tearing up. And in previous games, I mean, granted, we have a significantly better amount of talent starting this game compared to Memphis's. But you can see the plus minus, like so many players playing real well. So all of the starters are on the same wavelength is what I'm trying to say. So it's been a real positive to see, well, some good basketball because we've been really starved of it for quite some time. So good to see the threes are falling. We're shooting 53% from the field and 8 of 15 from the outside. So Dennis Schroeder making 3 threes really helps because instantly you play him in place of Ben Simmons and, well, Ben Simmons is not taking 8 shots in a half. He's not taking 8 shots in a game. And if Schroeder's going to make these shots, if he's going to make 3 threes in a half, well then that instantly changes the complexity of the way you play. But that being said, I do like Ben playing off the bench. I've also liked the minutes allocation. Not too many players have played excessive amounts of minutes on the bench. It's been very much starter heavy, which is what you're supposed to do when they're absolutely cooking. And they've got an extremely good plus minus. They're cooking Memphis's starting lineup. Williams on the outside. That is Ziaire. Shoots a mid-range over Claxton. It's off to the right. The rebound by Schroeder. And he'll get it to Bridges. Early offense here for the Nets. Mikal to Finney-Smith. Back to Bridges. Back to Finney-Smith. It's a bit of a loopy pass, but he gets to it. Finney-Smith out to Schroeder. Now to Bridges. Thought about the 3. Out to Schroeder. To the corner for Finney-Smith. Great ball movement. It's good. Nets up 23. Excellent ball movement there by the Nets. Response by Jackson is no good, but Finney-Smith apparently is hit with a foul under the basket, and it was on the box-out attempt. Jackson was the guy he was dealing with. Bloody hell. Crazy to see us hit 9 threes in a game. Who would have thought? Is that too much to ask? Interestingly, Memphis are actually shooting 40% from the outside. There is another foul, and it is yet again the Nets under the basket, being a little bit undisciplined, dealing with Jaren Jackson. Now, interestingly, the subs have been made at the 4-minute mark, so it looks like some of our bench players are actually going to close out the half. Ben will play Schroeder and Finney-Smith to the bench with Lonnie Walker. In is Cam Thomas, Ben Simmons, and Cam Johnson. So we're playing Ben and Claxton, Thomas, Bridges, and Johnson, the other 3. So 3 shooters, 2 non-shooters. Jackson, spin. The push shot is no good. The tip-in layup by Jackson was also nearly good. That's GG Jackson. Johnson into the paint. The little right-handed push shot is good. And there is just no resistance on the interior today. 3:40 to play. Good cut by Johnson yet again. Memphis are shooting 50% from the field in the quarter. They must just be absolutely killing it on the turnovers. Nice push shot on the baseline by Ziaire Williams. So Ben Looking for a pass here. Knocked away. Mikal's going to have to fetch it. And Jackson just arrived out of nowhere. What is he doing, Mikal? Oh my god. And they've absolutely fluffed it, Memphis. Bridges was able to save. Thomas the drive. The layup is blocked, but there is a foul. He was pushed, Cam Thomas, on the layup, and it'll be 2 free throws. What a frantic sequence. I mean, Mikal didn't want any business in diving for that basketball, and then got conned into thinking that he needed to pass it forward. He's just didn't get a handle on the basketball and just turned it over, but was able to save as Memphis screwed up a 2-on-1 fast break. Or, yeah, well, in essence, it was a 2-on-1 fast break. And then, because of that turnover, Mikal saving it, you know, the ball is still live. We were able to, you know, push the pace yet again, and Cam Thomas was able to capitalize on an unset defense. So 57 of 33, Cam Thomas made the first and missed the second. I don't know why this team cannot shoot free throws. 2 of 4 today. And it's not like it's shit players shooting the ball as well. I mean, we might as well have Ben Simmons at the line, to be honest, because no one can make a free throw at all. GG Jackson lost the shoe. What the fuck? Where's the foul? We nearly had a steal. Ben Simmons had both hands on the basketball, but I don't know. Oh, that is fucking soft. That is soft. Where the fuck was the foul? So Jackson at the line rims in on the first. Finney Smith back into the game, and I would assume it's for Claxton, which it is. So Ben Simmons will close out the first half playing as a small ball 5. So the Nets up 23. Second free throw for Jackson is also good. And it is the Nets who will bring this up 22. 2:40 to play. Do not let it get close to a 15-point margin. Do not let them go on a run. Thomas tries to shake off the defender. It's good defense by LaRavia. Thomas finds Finney Smith on the baseline. We've got to shoot 1, 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot. Thomas lost the ball, and it is still Nets ball. I thought it was off Cam Thomas's leg. So 0.8. And this has happened multiple times where we've used minimal clock off the inbounds. Let's see who gets it here. Oh, what a play! What a play! The decoys were Cam Thomas and Bridges, who were going to the perimeter. Finney Smith dove the other way, and under the basket was wide open. Jackson had a... What? Jackson had it pickpocketed by Johnson, and I thought we were going to have an easy look. What a set play. 3 Memphis players darted to the corner. Finney Smith was open under the basket. So the Nets could have had an easy 2 points in transition, but Johnson obviously went at the arms of Jaren Jackson. So free throws coming up. Is it difficult for you to follow this game as Jackson misses the first? Because there's 2 Jacksons, there's 2 Williams for Memphis, and then for the Nets, there's 2 Dennises. So, fair bit of difficulty in having to follow certain players on this team. Jackson makes 1 of 2. Nets up 23. And we enter the final 2 minutes in very strong command of the game. Ben will look to facilitate here. Mikal change of direction, gets into the paint, and scores off the window. Lost LaRavia there. And Mikal's been really smart with his shot as well. Shot 7 of 21 the other day after a strong start, because he couldn't make a 3. That had to be a travel, and was, and it will be Nets basketball. So this is the exact half you want when you're playing a team like Memphis, because they've been a very gritty team. So you've got to ensure that you don't drop to their level. You don't stoop down to their level. You need to absolutely set the tone. Bridges is fouled, and it's going to be 2 free throws. So we've had a dozen points off turnovers. We've also had over a dozen points from fast break possessions. Or over a dozen points from fast break possessions. That is why we've got 61 in this game, ultimately. So the Nets lead by 25, and it's Mikal Bridges who will get 2 free throws here and makes the first. So the Nets up 26, ladies and gents. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back tomorrow for Nets Orlando. Hopefully we see something very similar to what we're currently seeing. But we'll be right here 15 minutes before the tip-off for the pregame. So if you are new, make sure to stay notified through subscribing. So Memphis will get into a set. It's Williams to Kennard, and he's picked up by Ben on the outside. Now Jackson. Good defense by Ben, who's knocked it away from Jackson multiple times. And it looks like we're really just trying to absolutely harass the crap out of Jaren Jackson. And he's getting frustrated. He's had a very frustrating first half as is. But having 2 players basically slicing at your hands is bound to piss you off even more. Jackson at the line makes another one. So I sort of like this aggression defensively, because this is a team that going into the season was supposed to be this, like, an absolute prick on defense. Like, opposition offenses were supposed to be pissed off at us, because we'd just be a pain in the ass to deal with. Bridges for 3, it rattles out, and a board for Memphis. Aldama to Kennard. There's a lockup and another set of free throws. Why the fuck are we giving away free throws like this? Just giving him some easy shots, easy looks at the free throw line. So 1 minute to play in the second quarter. We'll have a chat to you lot at the half, and then we will resume after the break, hopefully with more of these results to come. Johnson is very, very sore in the shoulder. He may go down to the locker room, have an early breather. Interestingly, that was a little bit dirty by Kennard. Knew Johnson's arm was behind him and sort of tried to keep it going. Walker walking a tightrope. Finney-Smith is blocked on the 3-point attempt, and it'll be another opportunity for the Nets here. So Memphis have scored the last 4 points, and if they get a stop here, then it'll be pretty impressive. That's if they can score on the other end. Finney-Smith on the outside. We'll give it to Cam Thomas. We've got 7 to shoot. Final minute first half. Thomas the drive. Good bit of hesitation. Kicks it out to Walker. Has the space for a 3. And he knocks it down as the shot clock expires. Too much space for a 3-point shooter as good as Walker is. And now Jackson into the paint. The layup is no good. Good defense by Finney-Smith. Ben trying to pin the eye of a needle. Thread the eye of a needle. And it was a kickball violation in the process of Ben seeing Mikal cut back door. Nets will inbound with the 2-for-1. Not converted by Memphis for the second straight quarter. So the Nets up 26 points and an 8-second difference between shot and game. So they can absolutely cook here. In no rush. Thomas, Bridges, got to shoot it. 2 to shoot, 1 to shoot. Thomas, 3. It's expired, the shot clock, and that 3 couldn't be any more offline. So a good stop for Memphis, but you feel as if the Nets probably didn't get into a set quickly enough, even though they wanted to use the entirety of the clock. You got to do that at probably the 9 or 10 second mark. You got to make your mind up whether you're going to take the final shot or not. Because if you don't make your mind up, well then it's going to make things pretty unclear in the final 5 or so seconds of the possession, as we just saw. Aldama fakes the handoff and then try this fucking saucy pass. Bit of a Bit of a bold sort of pass to make with 1 second left in the second, down 26. Walker puts one up. Oh my goodness, he nearly made the scoop from 3-point range, even though the clock had expired. But that is the half, and we're up 26. Now, if I told you that we were 13-9, and we've gone and won 8 of our last 34 games, you would not believe me, because today, I mean, even though we're playing Memphis, usually when we play oppositions like this, sometimes we're not able to, like, we stoop down to their level. We play like we're as shit as them when we clearly have the personnel difference and the talent difference. So ultimately, huge first half by this mob. Is Mikal hurt? No, he's not. He is not. All right. If you are enjoying, you know what to do. Drop a like on it and subscribe. But this is just, well, it's fair to say I thought we would be winning this game, and I thought winning this game was a given. Like, we desperately needed to win this. I mean, this may age terribly, but look at the chances of us winning. 100%. It says 100%. So if this website says it's 100%, well, then it's within my best interest to believe that is telling the truth. I don't really have much else to say. Cam Thomas is actually not having a very good game in terms of efficiency, only the 8 points. But, I mean, look at this, right? We have got every single starter with 8 or more points. That has not happened in a half for a very long time, right? Then, off the bench, you've got 2 more players that have got 7 or more. So you've got 7 players already with 7 or more, and you have only 1 player who's scored more than 12, who's scored in double figures. This team is shooting very, very well from the field, and 10 threes made is obviously going to be a very good recipe to winning games of basketball. And you factor in the 20 assists and the 3 turnovers, and that is just excellent basketball to watch. I don't care who it's against. We have not seen basketball this good by a Nets team in a very long time. And to be fair, it's probably been only a month where we beat Utah and we beat Philly and scored over 135 points or whatever in both games. Yeah. But, yeah. Since that point, we have seen nothing reminiscent of good basketball. So this is a positive. Schroeder hitting 3 threes is very nice, especially when you consider he's replacing Ben. And he's been very, very welcomed on the offensive side. He's got the 4 dimes as well. Got the most turnovers, but he cleaned that act up in the second quarter. Claxton has not missed. Finney Smith has scored 9, and there's been a lot of interior looks. I don't think he's taken, or he very rarely will, when you look at the ratio of 2s to 3-pointers, very rarely will you see him take more 2s than 3s, and that's what he's been doing today. Mikal's only taken the six shots, and that is a better version of Mikal. He can play better on the defensive side. Cam Johnson, he's got 7 as well. He's been pretty positive. Lonnie Walker is a plus 16 in 9 minutes. He's made 3 threes and scored 9 points. So not really too much more you can ask for. We talked before about threes from the corner. We are the best 3-point shooting team in the corners this season, amazingly, when our 3-point percentage sucks. But you can see those corner threes. We've made quite a few from the corner. So, and the misses have been Cam Johnson and, well, Dorian Finney-Smith and Dennis. So, understandable. But Finney-Smith is getting to the spots where he usually would make 3-pointers, or that's where he's more inclined to score them. But there's been quite a few threes made above the break. Fair bit of success there, so fair play. Overall, huge first half. Don't mind the minute allocation as well. Dayron only playing 2 minutes, Dennis only playing 6. I like Cam Johnson and Walker playing off the bench, and then Ben also there closely behind. I like those 3 as the main 3 off the bench. I would like to see Jalen Wilson also be involved in that mix, but you obviously can't win them all, can you? I think the huge thing for me, though, is the starters actually scoring the ball, because as we saw last game against Minnesota, really struggled. A number of players just did not have any shot-making ability in the first half last game. Quite a few players had not scored the ball at halftime. And the three-pointers, well, we talked about last game, 6 of 36 from 3, 2 of 20 were our starters from 3. When you look at it today, I mean, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 players, 6 make a 3. And, out of those, every single one of those players that has made a 3 is playing the most minutes, essentially, apart from your centers, Ben and Claxton. So out of the 8 players getting proper minutes, you've placed yourself in the best spot to win because you are playing your shooters more and you're getting the right mix. DSJ is not going to do that for you. And you can't play Ben, Dayron, and Claxton all at the same time. Or you can't play 2 of them at the same time. You have to treat Ben like a center almost. And that sort of works. He does play like a center these days because he's slower. He doesn't really want to shoot the ball. And is more defensively minded. So I guess it sort of makes sense to play him a little bit more defensively and let him run the point with that bench unit. And it really changes the way the offense looks, for sure. Memphis have not had one scorer in double figures. They've had 10 free throws, 12. And a lot of those came in the back end of the quarter, so they were helped out a little bit by a few Nets who were committing some rash fouls. But overall, Memphis did not shoot the ball too well. Didn't do too bad from 3. I just voice cracked before. Let's ignore that. So 3-pointers, not actually that bad. 36% isn't awful. They started the game a lot better, though. I think they've missed their last 4. Shooting well below par from the field, and their starters really haven't shown any form of ability offensively. And they've only had the 12 dimes. The bigger issue is when you compare the 12 dimes to the 9 turnovers. 9 turnovers to 3 for the Nets, and that is already like on top of the shooting woes. You're giving away extra shots to us because you simply can't look after the ball. And for a team not shooting it well, you're just going to get blown out in that case. The Nets shooting 55% from the field, 52% from 3, and they have 16 extra shots than Memphis, even though they've only got 6 less free throws. So those turnovers are really killing them, Memphis. But here's the other big thing. Jesus Christ, can't speak. Turnovers, points off, and also the fast break points. Those are 2 also very important things to note. Points off fast break, 13-4. Now, I don't know the last time we had 13 points and a half on the break, but it's pretty clear those are helping us out a fair ton. And the points off turnovers, 14-0. So with the very few turnovers we've committed, haven't shipped off, points as a result of that. And equally, we've been able to turn turnovers into points. And that disparity is really helping us out as well. Second chance points also 13-0. And it's because we've had 5 offensive rebounds to 0. So the offensive rebounds, usually when we get offensive boards, second chance points do not align. Like, we have a lot of offensive rebounds, but the points, we're very, very poor in conversion. Today, 5 offensive rebounds for 13 second chance points. That is almost a bucket, if not a bucket, on every single one of those offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities. So we've been very good at capitalizing and been very opportunistic in this game. So that is why we lead. That's why we've had such a commanding sort of presence, and we've absolutely beaten down on the Memphis Grizzlies. Pretty clear to see. So that is the half. We have dominated, which, look, I didn't think we were capable of doing such a thing, but here we are. Let's have a look what people are saying. Is Mikal playing with Ben? Yes. To close out the first half, we played Ben, Mikal, Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas, and Finney Smith. So Ben is the small ball 5 with shooters around him, which is exactly what you need to do. The difference today is probably the opposition. Yeah, look, what am I supposed to really say, though? I can't really say we're playing shit opposition. You have to play worse. Or, like, I don't know. I understand why people say, you know, I understand why people say, you know, to not jump the gun. I'm not jumping the gun at all, because, quite frankly, I know what we're probably going to get with this Nets team going forward, right? But, you know, these sort of games, we have far too consistently kept oppositions in the contest. So it is good to see that we are dealing with an opponent that is clearly worse off. It's easy to say, hard to execute. And you would be surprised. We have done it far, far too often where we've just let teams in. So, yes, they are missing a ton of shots. Yes, they don't have any notable player that can lead their offense. But that being said, when has that ever stopped an opposing player from playing well? Like, GG Jackson has not been shit. Jaren Jackson has played some really good games recently. You know, those players, like, you're a shit shooting performance away, plus Memphis having a good player playing well from potentially losing a game, if that makes sense. You know, like, as much as we can say, well, we're beating an opponent by 26, it's because they're shit. We had to score the 66 points. There have been a lot of open three-pointers, right? How many games have we played recently where we've had an open three-pointer and haven't hit it? You know? Is that down to pressure? Is that because we're playing a shitter opponent and the pressure is lesser? I don't know. But, you know, it's not necessarily that easy. You know, you still have to score the ball. You still have to make the off-ball movement, which is something we have not seen, like, all season. Barely any diversity and inspiration in what we're doing off the ball. So that's a couple things that I've picked out from the first half. You know. Yeah. So, yeah. Alrighty. Second half is getting ready to kickstart, and it is the Nets up 26. Only starter in double figures, or only player in double figures for either team is Dennis Schroeder. He scored 12 points in the first half. He hit 3 3-pointers. And, yeah, the Nets are up on the back of 2 strong offensive quarters and defensively clamping. And another thing I mentioned, it is not a given to look after the basketball. Memphis are a very, gritty team. So, you could easily fall victim to them being absolute scramblers and you commit a bunch of turnovers because of it. We've only committed 3 turnovers today, so that is some things you've got to give us credit for. So, as much as a 26-point lead, it could be argued that is because of the opposition playing like garbage. It's not a given you're going to be up by 26. We could have had another quarter or another first half where we score under 50 points because the offense stinks. It's been a bit of a different offense today. Yes, there hasn't been an interior presence, but you have to recognize that. How many games have oppositions not had an interior presence defensively, and we haven't recognized that weakness or attacked it? So there's so many things that you can discredit us for, but at the same time, nothing's a given. You actually have to go out and do it and bring the energy. Jackson the drive, blocked by Claxton, bored by Bridges, and he is trapped at the half-court line. He gets it across to Schroeder, who will drive. Kick out. What is he doing? He had an open layup, and he's just been very passive. 3 in the corner. Nope. Well defended. And Finney-Smith commits the take foul before Vince Williams can get the 3 up and make it. So, Claxton, second block of the game. Nets up by 26. And I don't know why Schroeder passed up the opportunity to make it 28, but here we are. So Aldama looking for a handoff. He gives it to Kennard. Jackson on the outside. The drive. The spin. Good defense, Claxton. Doesn't get the bounce on the rim, but it'll be free throws. And I don't know how many fouls these guys are on, but it seems like they're piling them up. 2 fouls in 1 minute for the Nets. And I believe in both quarters, the Grizzlies were in the bonus. We got to finish the second half strong. I'm not getting excited. Yeah, we've got to have our reservations because no lead is safe with this team at all. So Memphis lead by 25, and it's Jackson at the line who made the first and missed the second. Board secured by Mikal. And it'll be Schroeder who brings it up for Brooklyn. So a good third quarter here, and you would probably back us in to win. Probably want to extend the lead by 6 or 7, so we're up by what? 30? Then we'll probably be safe, right? 4 to shoot. Mikal the drive on the baseline. Foul. Oh, nearly got the angle. Probably should have tried the reverse layup, but he was trying to initiate the contact and jump into Aldama, who had leapt off the floor. So 2 free throws for Mikal. Good, smart bit of play to take it in with the shot clock winding down. So 2 free throws here for Mikal Bridges. And the first, bro, how are we so trash at the line? 4 of 7 tonight. So Nets up 25. 1 more free throw here for Mikal Bridges. Oh my god, bro. What the fuck? For a team that gets their free throw shooters to the line, they are awfully shit at making their free throws. Fucking hell. Jackson the spin. Blocked again. And Jackson gathered the ball out of instinct after Claxton blocked it, but he was off balance, Jackson, and he's fallen out of bounds. So 2 blocks in the quarter for Claxton, and excellent work by Clax. It looks like Memphis are trying to take it into the cup and try get some scores offensively right at the rim, but it is just not going for him today. Schroeder lost the ball, got it back. Finney-Smith, well denied. Oh, wow. Schroeder from 3. That is... God, that was awful. So, a couple of minutes elapsed so far in this third quarter. Jackson to Kennard. He's picked up by Claxton on the outside. Now the drive. Held up. Out to Williams. Back to Kennard. Will drive again. The kick out to Aldama. In the corner, the cross, the three. And it's an air ball. The board. It's a 2-on-1 fast break. You cannot stuff this up. Well done. Well executed. The third man arrived in Nic Claxton, and we used him to perfection as well. So that is so well played. Work your way through it. Don't try any snazzy bullshit passes. Simple. Simple team basketball. Kennard for three. Why the hell would you foul? Why would you foul there? We're up 27, but I don't want to give away any easy points. I don't give a shit. That is just dumb by Dennis Schroeder. It's barely even... Like, he's not even running or sprinting to get to that closeout. He was right there. Just needed to put the hand up because Kennard had shot it from way behind the line. So Kennard will shoot 3. Made 2. And one more here for Luke Kennard as well. And that free throw is good. So makes all 3. And so the Nets lead by 24. Schroeder picked up on the perimeter by Kennard. And now Claxton to Mikal Bridges. Top of the key. Lost the ball. Got it back. Numbers commit. Bridges bats it to Finney-Smith. This is unclean, but Cam Thomas is open above the break, and he knocks down a wide open 3. It's well worked. I mean, Memphis went all or nothing there, trying to get the steal, and in the end, they come up with absolutely nothing for their effort on the defensive side. They give away a 3. Williams shoots the 3. That is poor defensive work and a bit of miscommunication because Finney-Smith called Claxton across, but in the end, Finney-Smith had to do it all himself. Schroeder, hand off to Bridges. Lost the ball, did Schroeder, but it got to Finney-Smith. Good drive and kick by Finney-Smith. Numbers open above the break again. This time, Mikal is short on the perimeter tray. And now Williams will drive. Layup, no good. Board Cam Thomas, gets it ahead to Finney-Smith. We have the numbers. Layup is good by Finney-Smith. And he hasn't shown too much polish when it comes to those sort of plays all season, but credit to him there. And the Nets are up 26. Kennard open 3. It's way too open. He's a sniper, and he cuts it to 23. So, Nets getting outscored in the quarter. Schroeder on the outside to Thomas. Gonna drive. And there is a foul. I don't know if it's before the shot. And I believe it is going to be Vince Williams or Ziaire Williams who will pick it up. Excuse me. So 7:36 to play in this third quarter. Nets up 23. And it'll be Schroeder who was going to inbound, but I think the dynamics will change with Walker coming to the court, and he will replace Cam Thomas. So Schroeder doing the inbounding. Oh my God, Clax. What the hell? That is so fucking pathetic. What a terrible possession. What on earth was the point of that? Brooklyn's, or the Yes Network scoreboard has gone haywire, giving us 3 extra points, and Memphis have... I don't know what the hell's going on here. So, why did we... It's just a simple player error there. Terrible communication on the inbounding effort, and it was good defense by Luke Kennard, who had springs in his legs, defending that, because he was bouncing on the side. Walker on the perimeter. Screen by Claxton. Johnson. Drive down the middle. Oh my God, another turnover. And this is what I said, right? Corner 3 for Williams. It'll go down. Nope. Would have been a big make, though. Aldama puts one up and scores for 2. It's down under 20 and a timeout's called. So, this is what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying, when we lose against shit opposition, we're like talking about how shit we are, right? We're talking about how shit we are, or whatever. But then when we win, we discredit the fact that we won because they were shit. So which one is it? Look, you've got to, everything that I banged on about at halftime is basically showing face here. It is not a given to look after the basketball like we did in the first half. Yet here we are in the second half, throwing the basketball away in such a careless fashion. So many preventable turnovers, which is a habit of ours. So yeah, it's pretty frustrating to see us play the way we have been in this third quarter. The score is 18, and we have 4 players in double figures, but the turnovers have just ballooned a little bit in this quarter. We've had, 3 in the quarter. We're still shooting it very well. The free throws, we came up empty on our only trip, which were some valuable points that we've given away. But look, you just got to keep knuckling down, to be honest. Yeah, the turnovers are the big thing for me. Memphis's shooting percentages have gone up to start this second half. They're shooting 40% from 3. They're still shooting a little bit torrid from the field, but the turnovers have gone down for Memphis. They've knuckled down on the defensive side, and you can see the swing in play. So it's all going to be about a response here. It's all going to be about a response. Yeah. Really simple stuff for the Nets. Look after the damn basketball and keep it simple. That's all I have to say. So it is down to 18, the deficit for Memphis. Okay. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Orlando tomorrow, so make sure to tune in for that. All right. Interesting to see what the first subs will be. Yeah. So Memphis have outscored us by 8 in the quarter, and we're only 5 minutes into the quarter. They've already scored 15 points. So they are well on their way to eclipsing whatever they scored in the first couple of quarters. So Schroeder will bring it up. Memphis also already in the bonus. Schroeder, pass to Walker. It's an open 3. Got to hit those. And it'll sit up on the rim. And Williams gets the board. That's Vince. Pass to Jackson. Now Williams. He's got Claxton on him. Ziaire Williams will drive. Good move. Blew the layup. Walker the board. And now the Nets will push the pace. Johnson back to Walker. And Claxton's got Williams under the basket, but we don't use him. Instead, go to the corner for Schroeder. Claxton again trying to fight. What the hell, man? Clax has had an absolute shocker in this quarter. Really. Hasn't done anything offensively, committed a bunch of fouls, which have just been, brain dead, to say the least. And it's a turnover. Another one. And so Dayron Sharp will check into the game now at the 6:21 mark. We have not seen DSJ play today in this, we have seen him play, but we have not seen him play in this third quarter. 6:21 a play, Nets up 18. But no guarantees here. Still a long way to go. Williams on the outside. And, bro, how many fouls are we going to give away, man? You've just got to be better than this. They're in the bonus. You have got to be better than this. It's so fucking pathetic. Like, why would you commit fouls like this? It's all the ones in the post. Like, I just don't get it. We bailed them out at the back end of the third quarter, and we're doing it, or back end of the second quarter, we're doing it again now. Like, that is a terrible foul. It's a soft foul, but it is such an avoidable foul. Get your arm off his... Get your arm off him. It's pretty simple. 1 of 2 there for Jackson. Split the pair, and the Nets up 17. We'll need to knuckle down here. Walker's got an open 3. A great drive and kick, but Walker misses the 3. That 3 was going down in the first half. Aldama to Williams. Will drive. Jackson for 3. That's off. It hits back on. The board by Walker. A very strong take. He'll probably take it all in. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Holy. Behind the back. Then the hang time. That was disgusting. Oh my goodness. That is disgusting. Missed by, oh my God, Dayron and Johnson under the basket, and they give away a chance to Aldama. It should have been pretty easy to get that board, especially when you have an offensive rebounder under the basket. Dayron does get the board this time, and then he takes a couple dribbles, gives it to Schroeder, easy layup, good transition offense. And that's exactly what happens when Memphis is unset. They had 2 players fight on the offensive glass for Memphis, so you were going to have the outnumber if Dayron was able to push the pace. So taking a couple of dribbles really helped out. That is ridiculous by Lonnie Walker, though. I mean, you got to roll that back. That is absolutely fucked how he's been able to get that to go. Holy shit. Behind the back, and then hung in the air with a Memphis player going vertical, and he's had to like swing his arm out like out here to like flick it up over his shoulder and create that separation. Just a ridiculous circus shot, almost. And the Nets lead by 21. Those are a couple important baskets to get as well. Because, yeah, I do not want to give Memphis any satisfaction or confidence that they can win this game. They have had the better of us for most of the quarter. But, yeah, I mean, those couple of buckets are really, really important. Lonnie Walker's been pretty good for us today, though. Cam Thomas got 11. There has really been no clear number 1. Schroeder's the high man with 14. I mean, that screams great play on the offensive side. How interesting is this, right? We scored a grand total of 86 points last game, and with 5 minutes left in the third quarter, we are 9 points away from hitting that mark. We could probably get there in the next 3 minutes. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy to think how badly we've struggled from the field. But we're on track here to potentially reach 120, 115 at least. It's going to be pretty tough from here for Memphis to get the win. They're going to have to absolutely put us on clamps from here on out because their scoring hasn't necessarily been that good either. So they probably need to really rely on their defense if they're going to win this. They need to hold us under 100 points, I think. I think the only way Memphis win is if they hold us under 105. The Nets they've only scored 11 points in the quarter. So they've struggled a fair bit. Quite a few open looks, but those couple of makes just then have really reinforced that lead back up above 20. Things look a lot better when it's above 20. Ben Simmons is in the game with Day'Ron Sharpe. Johnson is able to read the pass and get the steal. Lost the ball, got it back, easy too. Did well. Didn't get ahead, too ahead of himself. And the lead's back up to 23. So a couple good stops by the Nets. Now a drive here by Lamar Stevens. Moves Day'Ron Sharpe. And the fadeaway too is good. And I don't know if I like these Day'Ron Ben minutes, but we will see. Only time will tell. Ben, gonna look for a handoff. This is not going to be good. Day'Ron's going to try take Stevens down low and respond. And missed it. Try to get his own miss. And it's Laravia who does well. I believe it was off Memphis. If Laravia didn't impact the play, he was able to knock it off Day'Ron as he fell out of bounds. And Memphis will have an opportunity to get it back under 20 again. Jackson on the perimeter. Screen and switch. Jackson to Laravia. Picked up by Bridges. Back to Jackson, who's got Day'Ron on him. I do not like this matchup one bit. And Jackson didn't get the angle. Good defense by Day'Ron. Ben, Day'Ron will drive. Euro, lost the ball. Got it back. Lost it again. Got it back again. And I don't know whose ball that's going to be. Will Memphis challenge? I think it may very well have been... yeah, I reckon that's actually... I actually reckon that was probably Memphis ball, to be honest. So we get let off there. Benefit of the doubt. Bridges on the outside. Created the separation. That is not the shot. You need to do some off-ball cuts or some shit. Stevens the drive. Stops. Spin move again. Bro, you cannot be serious allowing this bloke to make shots. 3:18 to play in the third. Cam Thomas getting ready to check in. Walker, cross, drive, layup, foul, and it's going to be 2 free throws. The Nets are shooting 50% from the field, but Memphis have been to the free throw line at a far higher rate, and it's meant that ultimately Memphis have the upper advantage purely off the back that they've forced more turnovers in the quarter and been to the line more. Walker, though, at the free throw line to shoot 2 for the Nets. He makes the first. So the Nets have only gone out and scored 14 points in the quarter, but the fact that they had a very nice halftime buffer means that they lead this one still by a pretty commanding amount. So 80-60, 81-60 with that make by Walker. Rose falling out of bounds, keeps it alive. Jackson, open 3. Oh my goodness, that was awful. Didn't even hit the rim. Walker will go downhill, but it's well cut off. Harassed a little bit there by Vince Williams, but Walker's able to shrug off the pressure. He gets it back on the wing. He's got 7 to shoot. Walker flings it across to Johnson. Way behind the line. He knocks it down. 2:35 to play. Pass is thrown out of bounds by Memphis. And it'll be Nets ball. Bullshit. Whose ball is it? What have they just done? Bullshit. No, you have to challenge that. You have to challenge that. Memphis have just thrown the ball out of bounds, and the referees had the audacity to overturn the right decision into the wrong decision, and the Nets are going to have to challenge this. That's clearly our ball. That just got thrown out of bounds by Memphis on the drive and kick. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's just fucking thrown it out of play. There's absolutely no net that came even remotely close to touching that basketball. Alrighty. Toronto are gunning for the play, and I wonder who they play for the rest of the season. Well, we have a supposedly easy record, so we need to well and truly capitalize, right? Alrighty. So the Nets will get this basketball up 24. And the Nets are going on a nice little run at the back end of the quarter. It did get down to 17 points, but the Nets have done well. A little bit of an 11-4 run and the opportunity to inflate that some more here, as they will get possession and win that challenge. So it'll be Nets ball on the side, 2:30 to play in the third quarter, 84-60 scoreline. And fair to say the Nets are loving it. All right. So, final 2 minutes we're closing in on. It's Cam Thomas, Ben at the 5, Johnson, Walker, Finney-Smith all on the court as well. Walker will drive, take it in. Dump-off pass was on, but it was probably just a little bit to the left of Ben Simmons. He didn't really meet the pass. So, right play, wrong execution. And it'll be Ben inbounding with 6 to shoot. Finney-Smith, give it to Thomas and let him cook. 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot. Johnson open 3. Great off-ball screen by Ben. Allowed the space, but it is not going to go down, and it'll be Memphis getting into a set. It's Jackson on the perimeter. Now LaRavia. 3 over Thomas. It is, oh my goodness, off back iron. Board by Ben. Johnson. Back out to Ben on the wing. Will shoot another 3. It's off. Ben gets the board and the tip-in layup. Well done, Benjamin. And a drive by Rose. Good quick response. Back down to 24. Ben will get it to CT. And we're inside the final 90. Ben on the outside. The handoff to Walker. No. Finney-Smith. Walker. 3. Lot of space. And that's off. Clank. 1 minute to play. Jackson will drive. Get through. Puts one up. Misses. Didn't get the whistle. And that's a very rookie-looking sort of play. Thomas for 3 the other way. Yes! And it's back up to 27. So it got down to 17. Nets with an excellent response. Their scoring's inflated in the back end of this quarter. And fair play. Knocked away by Ben Simmons, but he's going to be hit with a foul, and it's Jackson who draws it. 2 free throws coming up for him. Imagine if Memphis did not get free throws. They would be screwed. They would be lucky if they had 50 points at three-quarter time. It would have been an absolute travesty here. So Jackson makes the first free throw. 89-63. Watanabe checks in for Memphis. And we've not got too long to go in this third quarter. Memphis, well, they were on track for a lot more points. They had 15 points about 4 minutes into the third. They only have 24 to show for the entire quarter. Cam Thomas, step back 3. It is off. The offensive rebound by Finney-Smith. The cut by Cam Thomas. The layup off the window. He's fouled. Didn't get enough English on it. It's going to be 2 free throws for him. Great off-ball play by Cam Thomas. Knew he missed and was very proactive in following that up. Recognized the space. Cut down the middle. Had Johnson open on the wing, but that's the far smarter play. We're going to get a challenge here, and it's Taylor Jenkins, who I would assume was very much pushed there by Lamar Stevens to make the decision, but it will be a challenge, of course. 89-64 the score. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus the Grizzlies, the Magic tomorrow. So it doesn't look like that's going to be, well, it looks like that's going to be overturned. Very marginal contact there. That is definitely going to be a jump ball. So this would have been a great 2-for-1 execution if it actually would go our way. I don't think it is going to go our way, but there is a little bit of contact. I don't know what the verdict is going to be. I could definitely see why they would overturn this, but let's see what the call's going to be. Here we go. Yeah. Successful challenge in Memphis ball. How is it Memphis ball? How is it not? I'm so confused. Because presumably, I mean, the foul was called, so everyone stopped. How is it Memphis ball? Regardless, you don't argue. So 5 or so second difference between shot and game. Bridges is back in for defense. And presumably offense as well. A 5-second difference between shot and game. Memphis will get into the set. Rose, the cut by Laravia. Good rotation. But Laravia scores right under the basket. And the Nets will give it to Mikal Bridges. Pass to Ben on the roll. Kick out to Walker. Open 3. It's off. But a very good look. And Watanabe is going to put one up. And he nearly got it to go, but the whistle had blown. So 3-quarter time, the Nets up 23. Memphis did make inroads in that quarter, but only by 3. The Nets only scored the 23 points in that third quarter, but they've done most of the damage in the first half. Memphis scored 26. We've got 1 quarter to play. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back in 24 hours for Nets Orlando, and then we've got a couple more games to round out the week. So make sure to tune in for both of those streams, or all 3 of those streams. If we look at the box score, the spread in scoring is just delightful. And look, I mean, we've got already 6 plays in double figures with Mikal sitting on 9 points. And this is a really good positive sign. We've already scored 89, which we didn't even get to last game in the entire game. The Nets' 3-point percentage has dipped. It was 10 of 19 at halftime. It is now 13 of 32. So we took a ton of them. Probably should have converted a few more. But overall, looking pretty good. Still shooting 50-40 from the field and 3. We've had 27 assists, and we were able to iron out the turnovers at the back end of the third quarter after a pretty rocky start to start the quarter. Cam Johnson's had a good game with 12, shot the ball well. He's had quite a few shots from inside the arc, which you want that balance from a player like him. Schroeder's been efficient. Finney-Smith has made 4 shots inside the arc, which is a bit uncharacteristic for him. And Claxton has the 10 points, but he was pretty off it in the third quarter for a couple of minutes prior to when he went to the bench. So 1 quarter to play. I like the rotations I've seen. Ben playing minutes at the 5 is a plus. He's had 4 points, 5 boards, 3 dimes, 2 offensive boards. Plus minus is a little bit misleading. I think overall, I'd rather him be a +4 than be a -20 in the starting lineup. So we've got 1 quarter to play, and the Nets lead by 23. Please do not do some bullshit collapse in the last quarter. We've got Ben, Walker, Bridges, Thomas, and Finney-Smith. So the same 5 we ended the quarter. We will start the last. Walker. Thomas. Walker the cross. Saucy cross. He absolutely removed Jackson, but a miss in the mid-range. So Memphis can score the first 2 of the last. Jackson the spin. The layup. It doesn't go down, and seems like there's a lid on the rim for Jackson. Oh my God. Ben was looking for Finney-Smith in the corner, or Walker. Cam Thomas ran right through, but we still somehow have it. Thomas, the step back two, doesn't get the bounce. The tip in by Finney Smith. He's been huge today. So good. So good. 17 second chance points in the game. Nearly every offensive rebound has led to a point. Laravia doesn't get the angle, but Stevens the putback jam. So that's only their second bucket, courtesy of second chance points. Walker driving kick. Bridges is open for three. He has just not found his shot from the outside today. Started the game well, but he's, 1 of 7 now? So he's 2 of 18 in the last 2 games, which is just hot garbage. He's had the open looks, though. Rose airballs the 3. Ben gets the board. Numbers running in space. Bridges to the corner for Walker. Top of the key is Finney Smith. Moves into a 3. It's off. And the board by Stevens. So these are all open looks. And in the first half, we're knocking these down for fun. Oh, wow. In the second half, it's been a little bit more tough going. Rose the drive and kick, and it bounced. Sort of weird. So much so that Jackson couldn't read it. And it's going to be Nets basketball right in front of the Memphis bench. Walker, Ben, and Cam Thomas all to the bench. Excuse me. So the Nets up 23 and 10 minutes to play. So Schroeder will bring it up. 10 or so minutes to play. High screen going to be set by Mikal. And now the switch. Schroeder. Drive down the middle. Got rid of Kennard. Gets one up and scores. And that is very smart work by Dennis, who hasn't really been too efficient inside the arc. At least he wasn't in the first half. He's been better in this half. Finney Smith with a block now. So he's been doing everything, mate. Schroeder on the outside. The drive, the acceleration, the layup off the window. And we have a timeout. 27-point lead. And this has been emphatic. This has been very, very emphatic, this performance today. We lead very nicely by 27 points, and we've gotten off to a ripper start to start the last. We've got... Well, Finney Smith has been awesome, man. 4 offensive rebounds, 6 field goals made on good efficiency. He's made 5 shots. He's made 5 shots from, well, inside the arc, which is usually not the balance of scoring for him. He usually takes more threes. He's got a block. Schroeder's 7 of 12, so he's been quality, especially to start the last. Couple of field goals made. And yeah, that's really the situation. And the starters have been very emphatic in, you know, really putting the Memphis Grizzlies to the sword, to be honest. They're shooting at 51% from the field. The 3-point percentage has dipped. We're like, what? I think we're 20% from 3 in the second half. But the fact we were 50% in the first half, it sort of cancelled each other out. So, yeah. And the turnovers, we've been pretty responsible there. Schroeder's got 4 turnovers, but he's cleaned things up in the second half. He's got 18 points. He's the high man. And for Memphis, well, it's fair to say that they've really struggled to get much of anything going. Jaren Jackson has 15 points. He's their high man, but he has gotten them basically exclusively off free throws. He's got 13 free throws. And that is the only reason they probably have like 50 points right now, or 55 points, because, well, the free throws, they've got 22 of them. And yeah, they've had a fair chunk more than we have. So yeah, they've really struggled from the field and 3. They had a good start at the second half, where they were knocking down a few 3-pointers, but since then, I don't think they've made one since. So overall, loving this team performance today, because it's very easy to, you know, to be shit, as we've seen for the last 35 to 40 games. So, you know, it's a positive that, you know, it's a very big positive that we have been very emphatic with the way we've played today. Like, everything has just been dominant in our favor. So Nets will probably end up winning this one, barring a ridiculous form of collapse. The Nets lead by 27. Still playing Cam Thomas. Day'Ron Sharpe is in the game. Kennard. Williams. Good cut by Laravia. There's a hold by Cam Thomas. Kevin Ollie. I mean, we're playing tomorrow, so good point that Ryan Rucco makes on the broadcast. How long is it going to be before he empties the bench? I reckon if it's at this margin in about 3 minutes, that's when you just take the starters out. Williams, step back 3 over Schroeder. Doesn't even hit the rim. Schroeder will get the ball here with 20 to shoot. Nice and early. Screened by the number 20, Day'Ron Sharpe. And now Cam Thomas. Day'Ron's under the basket. Johnson will drive and kick. Schroeder on the outside will drive. Cross on Stevens. Day'Ron wants the ball under the basket. Instead, we give it to Johnson and did not test the interior whatsoever. So the Nets lead by 27 still, of course. Williams, the handoff to Watanabe. Now Stevens on the outside will drive. Another turnaround, baseline 2. Or not baseline 2, elbow jumper. That goes down. Whoops. I forgot to start the timer. Schroeder. With the Nets up 25, will probably hand it off to, I don't know who. To the corner for Johnson. Drive down the middle. Pass to Day'Ron. He had to save it. Mikal falling out of bounds. And then Watanabe wasn't able to rake it in as Bridges threw it off Watanabe falling out of bounds. So we do well to make the best of a bad situation there. And we're inside the final 8 minutes. So Schroeder right in the corner. Will inbound it. What the fuck was that pass? Wow. Memphis had the ball, but I think pushing off the back leg, Kennard stood on the sideline, so it will be Nets ball again. So 7:55 to play, and it looks like Cam Thomas will do the inbounding. So Thomas finds Day'Ron. We just feed him down low, and he scores over the top of the much smaller defender, even though Stevens is pretty physically built out. Nets lead by 27 yet again. Watanabe. Kick out. Stevens is wide open for 3. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Thomas is sore. He tripped over. Oh, fuck off. Up 27 and we've had an injury. I can't believe it, mate. And he's walking it off, but what the fuck was the point of playing him now? You have Thomas and Bridges on the court up 27. So Thomas just basically very innocuous. He just stood on his heel ended up on Day'Ron's foot. So Cam Thomas is on the bench. He limped off. The good thing is he put weight on it. However, well, that instantly puts him in question for tomorrow now because, look, I think it's a pretty sort of, it's on the softer side, but, you know, yeah, I'm not 100% sure if that's gonna, I think he's okay, but could put him into question for tomorrow for sure. So the Nets up 24. I cannot believe we may have just seen a Cam Thomas injury, and it's so innocuous as well. We have to be one of the most cursed franchises for injuries or just for injuries caused by your own teammates. KD got injured from well, courtesy of Nets players doing shit. Who else? I feel like it's happened multiple times. Dayron Sharp, I think the same thing happened. I'm not sure. But regardless, I mean, hopefully we get this win. There's still a long way to go, but I mean, Memphis have got to score 24 in a quarter before they come back from 24 points down. And they really haven't been able to do that today. So, 7:23 to play. I imagine we've probably got like, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine there'll be too many more timeouts called in this game, to be honest. But it's been a good performance for sure. We do look pretty close to getting to 120 points, I would assume. But yeah, I mean, hopefully Cam Thomas is okay. It's pretty simple. We have scored 26 points on the break. We've also had 29 assists in the game. Crazy numbers. Crazy numbers. So yeah. Alrighty. So Cam Thomas is going to the locker room. Bridges easy layup. Why is Mikal still playing? Surely that Cam injury tells you, okay, well, it apparently does. I was going to say, surely you knew with the Cam Thomas injury to not play. Yeah, to not play Mikal Bridges any longer. I don't actually know which ankle got injured. It's the right. So it wasn't even the one that hit or the one that propped up on Dayron. Watford is in the game now. Put back 2 by Laravia is good. Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. Wilson is also in the game. Lob, Dennis, kick out to Watford. The pass was miscued by DSJ. Johnson is also still in. Dayron. Hand off to Wilson. Gets into the paint. Had an open look. Didn't get the bounce. Dayron hustles on the glass and is able to get us the 100 points at the 6:25 mark of the last quarter. And there's a take foul by Dennis. Why would you commit that foul? So stupid. So excuse me. Looks like Johnson will go to the bench and Bates Diop will check in. So it looks like Cam Thomas's ankle was tweaked on the back leg when he was trying to rebalance after stepping on Dayron. Sort of weird, that dynamic. Bit surprised how that's ended up panning out, to be honest. That probably gives me a little bit more optimism because it was a tweak, but not like an actual tweak where it's like on the outside of the ankle. What the hell is Jackson doing? He just spammed the pump fake button. He did it like 7 or 8 times and still blew the layup. Watford fakes the handoff. Bates Diop to Dayron. To Wilson on the wing. The cut by Bates Diop isn't used. Watford out to Wilson. The 3 high off the glass and it's off. Rebound by Memphis. We're in the final half of this fourth quarter. Watanabe lost his footing. We couldn't get the steal and an easy 2 for Ziaire Williams. Dennis. Wraparound pass. Watford's open in the corner. The 3 is off. Dayron with the offensive board. Behind the back. Little bit snazzy there. And it would have actually worked if Annette was, well, alert enough to the task. Williams will try take on Dayron here. The pass to Jackson. The 3 is an air ball. My goodness. So fair to say Memphis are... Well, this really sums it up. Bro, Jackson faked like 7 times on that. When you're 18, 19 years of age, you've got that shithousery about you. You do that sort of shit to take the piss. Wilson, catch and shoot 3 above the break. Yes! Very good looking 3-point jumper. Why don't we use this guy? It never really goes like swish with his 3s. It sort of like sits in the net for a little bit of time. Watanabe, the 3 is off. The board by Watford. And the Nets... Look, how many teams would have been blown out by 50 and have blown out oppositions by 30 multiple times in the same season? Like, we beat Utah by 30 plus. We lost to Boston, of course, by 50. I think we've beaten a couple of other teams by 30 as well. Like, how many games would that happen? So Cam Thomas is out for the rest of the game, unsurprisingly, of course. But that really has got to piss you off, to be honest. Nothing serious, but still the same ankle he injured earlier in the year. Off memory, I think it was the left ankle that he injured earlier, and this was the right. But unrelated incidents, I think. I don't think, if he's going to be out, I don't think he'll be out for long, but that is obviously a blow. It's going to be interesting to see who starts in place of Cam tomorrow night if he doesn't get up. Or maybe he just needed to put a bit of ice on it, let the swelling go down, sort of move it around a little bit, and you'll be right. Sometimes ankle tweaks are like that. So the Nets up 30 after that 3-pointer made by Watford. Okay. So the Nets, I mean, this is an emphatic victory. I mean, we had to win a game like this just to get the confidence back up. The Nets are on track to probably get to that 115 points that I said. Laravia chucks one up and scores for 2. 79 points for the Grizz. They have really struggled, man. DSJ. Wilson. Hand off to Watford. Behind the back. Now Smith. Screen gonna arrive. Bates Diop. Gonna feed Dayron in the post. Turnaround on the baseline. That is an interesting sort of bit of shot selection by Dayron. I didn't think I'd be saying those words. Dayron and baseline fadeaway in the same sentence. Laravia, another push shot. That one is off. Gets the offensive board. The kick out to Stevens. The spin. The shot over Bates Diop is short. The long rebound secured by, I don't know who that guy is. Laravia for 3. That rims out. Can we actually get a fucking rebound? Jesus Christ. Mate, gave away 4 offensive rebounds. What the fuck is that? And Kevin Ollie's just a little bit baffled by that effort on those last couple of, well, I say that trip on the defensive side of the ball. It's been like 4 different possessions. Laravia, switch, 4 to shoot, gets into the paint, knocked away by Watford. It's going to be a foul with 2.7 on the clock. So 2 free throws, I think, for Laravia, who has not been bad for Memphis today. Relishing the opportunity to play a little bit of extended time. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back here tomorrow for Nets versus Orlando. Second free throws off. Dayron with the board after making the first. So 27-point lead. Watford, DSJ behind the back. Goes down the middle. Chucks up an absolute shocker of a layup. But he's been fouled as well. And it will be 2 free throws for him as well. So closing in on the end of what will be a very, very needed win for this team. Had to win this game. Around the grounds, Toronto also won, so that meant, well, the Nets needed to win today to not drop below them in the standings. That is a terrible free throw by Dennis. Jesus Christ. So good to see that there's a few smiles on the bench. Been struggling for those. There is like no one in the arena. Jesus Christ. It is so empty in the FedEx Forum. Stevens lost the ball, knocked away by Bates Diop. How do we not get the steal? Blocked by Watford from behind. It's actually going to be a foul. Jesus Christ. How do you not get that steal? Bro, it looks like a like a high school sort of attendance at this rate. So Jackson at the line to shoot a couple. 107-80. Makes the first free throw. Cuts it down to 26. Huge free throw to get it down to 26. This almost will be the lowest score we've conceded this season, I reckon. If not the lowest. 82-107. And look, if Memphis hadn't gotten to the free throw line as much as they did, they probably wouldn't even have more than 65 points, to be honest. Watford to Wilson on the outside. We're in the final 2.5. Dennis drives down the middle. Bounce pass to the outside for Bates Diop, who tries his luck for 3. Dayron gets the offensive board, takes a dribble, and scores off the window. Well played. It is so empty. You can see more seats than people. Stevens gonna drive, shoots over Dayron, and Stevens, I mean, that's been his bread and butter today, to be honest. He's been making, I reckon he's made 4 or 5 of those baseline jumpers. DSJ looking for the roller in Dayron. No good. But it's not really going to matter. Everything is all consolation at this point. Inbounded here by Wilson to DSJ. We're in the final 2 minutes of the game. We'll do a quick post game and then we'll head out. Bates Diop hangs and is fouled, and 2 free throws for him this time. So, man, the Nets, 26 fast break points, 21 second chance points, 18 points off turnovers, and Memphis, for all of those categories, have 7. 7 points off turnovers, 7 fast break points, 7 second chance points, and to go with that, 7 offensive rebounds. We have had 12 of those. We've had the 32 dimes. Bates Diop made both, and that gets it back up to 27 points. We're into the final 90 or so seconds. Jackson on the outside will drive and spin on Watford. Lost the ball, and it's going the other way. And the Nets will let this run. 1:20 to play. DSJ the drive. Screen set. Watford on the outside will drive and kick. Wilson goes down the middle. Dayron corner 3 right in front of the bench was online, but it was off target, ultimately. Corner 3, nope. Knocked out a play by Bates Diop. And, well, it's all novelty at this point. It's all filler. Good to see the Nets are all smiles on the bench, though. We needed a win like this. We needed a win. We just needed a win. It didn't really matter who it was against. We needed a bit of relief on the schedule. It's going to get a lot easier from here, I think. 3 by Jackson is off. GG Jackson. And Stevens stood on the sideline. So in the final minute, the Nets up by 27. The Nets will win their 22nd game of the year. Hasn't been easy a lot of the time this season, so it's good to see a win happen in such a fashion like this. Watanabe gets the board, and Memphis will drive, and a throwdown by Watanabe, and you would imagine the Nets are just going to let the clock dribble out. 111 to 86, the scoreline, and I would suspect that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. The Nets win quite convincingly. It was 89 to 66 at three-quarter time, and the Nets went out and scored 22 points in the last quarter to the opponents who scored 20. Yes. And that's going to do it. So, ultimately, the Nets, I mean, they shot 36% from three in the game, but it was all done in the first half where they ended up hitting 10 of their 19 threes, and that gave them a nice springboard to get the dub. They had 31 assists, only the 8 turnovers, shot the ball pretty well for the majority of the game. Obviously, things fell off at the back end. Dayron had 8 points and 8 rebounds, plenty of offensive rebounds in there. We were very punishing when it came to fast break points, so we capitalized on the Memphis misses. We capitalized on the second chance points or the offensive rebounds, converted those into second chance points at a rate in which we have not done like at all this season. And then we also were able to get points off turnovers, forced quite a few turnovers, and were able to fully capitalize on it. And that probably correlates with the fast break points as well. You can see the top scorer was Schroeder with 18. We had 7 players score in double figures. Mikal Bridges still not finding his shot. It was good to see Dorian Finney-Smith have a really good game. He's had a tough season, but 4 offensive rebounds out of the 9 boards, a block, 13 points. Didn't rely on his 3-point game today, which I can really admire. Cam Thomas had 3 threes, but he is injured or was injured in a very sort of, I don't want to say soft way, but it wasn't nasty on the eye. So hopefully it's a very short-term layoff, if it is any form of layoff. Dennis Schroeder was great in the first half, hit 3 threes, and then scored some timely buckets in the second half and had 5 dimes. Ultimately, really good win. Didn't have to rely on one sole individual to get the job done. It looks like Claxton just got 2 points taken off him. So make it 6 players in double figures. Ultimately, though, I mean, the shooting percentages, the rebounding, the fast break points, the second chance points, the points in the paint, we got the balance right today. Yeah. Free throws probably left a few on the table, but overall, I think it's a pretty solid win. The starters did what they needed to do, and as I said at halftime, it's not a given that you're going to necessarily win games of basketball, even if the opposition you're playing is shit. You still need to go out there and actually rock up. You need to score the ball well. You need to make your open shots, which we have not been doing well at all. And you also need to ensure that you don't stoop down to their level and, defensively fall apart and give them some open looks and give them that confidence that they probably desperately need, especially when the shot isn't falling. It was a good game today because there wasn't one time where I felt that we were giving them confidence. Maybe in the middle portion of the third quarter where it got down to like 17 points the margin. But that aside, we put the foot down, went on a run, it went back up to 27, and by that point, they were all done and dusted. Like, they were all finished. They weren't going to win the game. Jaren Jackson had a very frustrating game, and I think that's one of the major reasons we blew them out. He only made 2 shots from the field, and he had 13 free throws to get to 15 points. So, yeah, pretty rough. GG Jackson was 1 of 13, so you already know he's going to be on Hater Central or some Twitter account like that. Laravia wasn't too bad. Lamar Stevens scored 17 points, was actually their top scorer, so he was probably their best player, but Ziaire Williams didn't shoot it too well. Kennard got to the free throw line, didn't shoot as many threes as he would like. Overall, they just shot abysmally from the field. And if it wasn't for them having 26 free throws, they would be absolutely screwed. They probably wouldn't have even bypassed, 75 points. So, huge win by the team. Forced the turnovers as well, so they committed 14 turnovers. Yeah, committed 14 turnovers. Barely had more assists than turnovers, so I think that really speaks volumes about how much they struggled. And, you know, ultimately we had 15 more shots as well. So not only were Memphis shooting badly, but they had a ton less shots than us. Sometimes we've had more shots, but we have just been god-awful from the field, that it doesn't even matter that we've got 15 extra shots. But today we made sure that we were shooting the ball well. We capitalized on that advantage, and it really helps when you're facilitating and not turning the ball over. So even though it wasn't a very strong opposition we played today, you know, the wins aren't just handed to you. And, you know, we did a good job to ensure that we didn't fall into a rut at any stage of the game. So that'll be win number 22 on the season. That'll do it, though. Make sure to drop a like on the way out. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. We will see you back here tomorrow. I've got to run. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. That winning feeling feels nice. And yeah, hopefully we can continue the run tomorrow and into the rest of the week. We'll see you soon. Have a good one. Stay safe. Bye for now.